What's up, everybody? This is Joseph R. Wheeler III, the artist, the founder, and the president of the ONYXCON Foundation. And I'm getting me a little ONYXCON fitness in. And let me be specific before I go further so I can let everybody understand what the audience is and who this is intended for. Now, I myself am a gentleman who I know I don't look this, but I am in my late 40s. Hey, ladies. Yes, obviously I work. ONYXCON is my primary job. I'm also an actor. I'm in the film business. I'm an artist in every sense of the word, I always say, because I'm a visual artist. First and foremost, my first love, drawing, painting, all of that. But most of that energy transferred into my passions for being a part of the film industry. I do a lot of different things, y'all. So, and pardon the camera with the sun behind me instead of in front of me. It is what it is. I got to walk the way I need to walk. I would walk backwards, but this looks a little weird, doesn't it? Yeah, anyway. I absolutely refuse to not live the art life because it's what the universe sent me to do. And every time I stay on my path, I get subtle reminders that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, and it's all gonna pay off on that financial, stressful part of it, and it won't be that way forever. One of the number one ways is just YouTube. So as you hear me breaking this down, please hit that subscribe button right now. I mean, really, you are literally helping change my life and therefore my ability to make ONYXCON a bigger and stronger 501c3 nonprofit entity for creative lifestyles. I love my country, all that. That's beautiful, that's fine. But this is not the only place that holds a part of my heart. I'm literally tied to other places on the other sides of the world because I am a human being on Earth, not just in America. So I love travel. I love what it does to my mind. I love how it fulfills things that I've contemplated and fantasized about, and how some of those fantasies are even better than the reality I have in my mind when I actually get there, and others are far below my speculation. But that's the truth I need to be awakened, and ain't nothing like being awakened, even when it's, you know, not as wonderful as you thought it would be. It's okay, because it really helps your mind. It opens you up. It makes you a complete, whole, balanced human being. It can't be for everybody. And what do I mean by that? I'm not just talking about the financial struggle of how it can be to travel, because I travel as a budget traveler, and I can show you ways to do that. I hope that people who watch my channel looking for ways to do that see that. And even for people who got it and ain't no problem to go wherever they want, whenever they want, may still learn something that they didn't know. Right. And dating and everything, there's been an issue for years. This ain't nothing new. This divide, this whole battle of the sexes conversation, which I don't agree with that. I don't like that phrase. I ain't battling with ladies. I love women, okay? Absolutely love women. I was raised by a real mama and a real daddy. My biological real parents, thank goodness I'm blessed in that way. And I know what real love is and to be loved. So I look for that in relationships. And when I don't come across ladies who've shared that same experience, I kind of already know from the beginning, if their upbringing wasn't in some way close to the kind of love I experienced, we're not going to be able to go but for so far. It's not to say we won't have any fun, we won't learn from each other, and not even to say they can't teach me something, because I've been taught and learned a hell of a lot about life from people who had completely different situations than mine growing up. But I've learned that in terms of long term, you best relate to people who can relate to your story. And you got to understand, I'm by no means saying they literally grew up exactly how you did. No, I'm just saying they understand how important certain things are that some people take for granted because they, or don't know how to consider because they didn't have it. They simply just didn't have it. So those things create issues. And unfortunately, in American society, especially amongst African-American communities, and there is no one, I hate this phrase, the culture. We are the cultures, plural. There's so many ways to be what we are, okay, under this created racial category of black. For me, knowing that that's a construct, I like the word black, but I use it more as a definition of cultures, and therefore the uniqueness amongst those cultures and how we intersect, but we are never completely just absolutely mono, one thing, one-minded, one way. That's never, can never be that now. But you get conflicts too, because sometimes with the differences, people don't know how to live and let live, accept those differences, and still just work with what does work and leave the rest alone. That's kind of how I date. You know, I don't even work. When I meet a lady, I let them know from day one, look, you don't have to be perfect. There's no such thing. I don't have to be perfect for you. There is no such thing. As the closer we are to the 80s and 90 percentile of whatever we think perfect could be, the better off we will be. And maybe the chances of us being something long-term and all of that become stronger. But I'm not one who believes in settling for less than what you're here to accomplish, or with people who you know are going to be extra work on top of other work you got to do to reach your goals, because you got to work on them while you're working on yourself and working on your goals. That's just, you know, that's going to happen anyway, but what percentage of that do I want to allow? It's all percentages. So for me, a lot of what is going on, that is the conflicts between men and women, especially in the Black community, is a result of folks coming from too different of a situation and not owning up to that, because they want to pretend that we're all one just because we Black. We not. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's doing different stuff, and it's okay. You know? Then when you deal with folks outside of quote-unquote Black community, you know, I've dated Asian ladies. I've dated, and when I say Asian, I mean South Indian, okay, primarily. Shout out to India. Love me some Indian women. Y'all are some of the greatest, beautiful, mentally and physically ladies on this planet. I'll tell anybody, and I ain't got no shame about it. Love me some Indian women. I've also dated Latinas again. And when I say Latinas, I mean all Latinas. I mean Afro-Latinas. I mean so-called Euro Latinas, which is, to me, you know, white Latinas, which is a joke to me, because it's like, to say Latino to me, I don't care what nobody else thinks it is. I know that the history of every Latin nation includes African influence, input, and especially genes, because of various reasons, not just always slavery, but definitely it can and must be acknowledged. I didn't have any, no Black, no African, no. You know, I've heard them. I've literally had them conversations with some Latin, you know, peoples, and it's hilarious. Here's some good light for a minute. But so that stuff there bothers me when I hear that. And like I said, I've dealt with it directly with Latinos. And I came to a conclusion about it too, that, you know, if somebody is willing to get the lesson, the history lesson I'm gonna give them, and they want to deal with me, because I'll still have ladies, I've had ladies like that who are still very much so attracted to me. And I give them a history lesson, and they would come out of the relationship they had with me learning more and knowing more about themselves, and being proud of the fact that, yeah, I guess, okay, I got to face that. I do have African blood, and I should be proud of that. Why would I not be proud? Hello, yes. My spectrum of ladies has been broad, and it will get broader. I want it to. I really want to have a connection, experiences in every corner of the world, so to speak, you know, because every time I meet somebody from another place, it's like the place itself and the people, and particularly on a romantic level, as a heterosexual man, the women, just being with a woman from another place who can connect you to her culture and you can connect her to yours, that just, man, I'm telling you, it's another level. It's a superpower in that for both of you. You gain so much from each other if you're doing it right, Now, if you just, you know, there's this hit it and quit it culture, and this leads me to my main topic about the boundaries, y'all. There's this hit it and quit it culture out of America that is spreading globally, you know, to the point where when you go on a dating app now, you got women in every corner of the globe. I don't care where you're at. You're looking in countries in Africa. You're looking in countries in, like I say, Latin America, over in Europe. You're talking about, it don't matter, whatever continent you mention. Everywhere, they're all saying no, and I do mean no, non-serious relationship. Now, some of them don't say that. Some of them are like, yo, I'm still open to fun. I'm not trying to be tied down to anybody. I don't want to be in a serious relationship right now. Very few of them word it that way, because the general consensus is, well, you know, if you don't say anything close to that, well, you must be a whore. You must be out here hoeing. You're not a real lady-like person because you're just willing to have sex and have relationships with guys that don't have to be long-term. And what's funny to me about that is every now and then you'll come across some women out there who are from these other very strict cultures that have these old traditions. They'll be like, no, I still have my old traditions, but I recognize that I'm in a modern world, that I am a modernized woman because of Western influence and all this other stuff that come into our country. And I'm just not pretending that we're not living in that reality at the same time as the old. It's the old meets the new. And because of that, they just don't have the same, they're a little bit more mature about some. It's very few now. This is still an elite group of women I'm talking about who do that. Most of them still be on the denial that they're even doing anything outside of the old. You know, you go into a corporate job in a high-rise building, but you still talking about relationships like you're in a village somewhere and your dad and your mom have to meet every man you date when you know damn for well you don't want them to meet every man you date. Because truth be told, you know they're not worthy of marriage every time. Sometimes you just trying to have a good time and go home after a long week of work. And that's all. That's really literally all you're trying to do is have a good time and go on home. But you're trying to turn everything into something formal in your mind because it makes you feel shameful. If I'm just out here willy-nilly drinking in the club and having sex when I feel like it, and yeah, it's still safe sex, at least I'm doing that, you know, you're doing it the right way, but they just feel shame of it. There's a lot of shame tied to this stuff. So yeah, that's one way of it. Then you got the other way of it where in some countries, and notice I'm not naming any countries, this could apply to a lot of places all over the globe. I don't want anybody to try to assume either that he's talking about he was just talking about Latinos. So nope, not at all. I'm talking about the world, because I promise you, I've spoken with ladies online that in some cases turned into direct relationships. In other cases, it was just all conversation, but long enough conversations for me to get a gist of how they thought. And they were everywhere from countries in Africa, places in Latin America, way off in Southeast Asia, other parts of Asia. Trust me, this is becoming a universal conflict of trying to figure out what is just, what is acceptable, where the boundaries are, right? And so I find that in those countries where, say, prostitution is legal, then you really get a sticky situation. Because I find that a lot of the women, there's the good girls who ain't about that life. Thank goodness they still exist in those places, because with the pressures of the economy and everything like that, it's become so common that even the good girls sometimes do some other stuff. The type of stuff that women in America do, that quite frankly is its own form of prostituting, and they want to pretend that it's not. For example, women who say, well, I don't do coffee dates, and you got to take me to an expensive restaurant, and you got to buy me expensive gifts and all this other stuff before we ever lay down. Well, if all of this comes before sex and you can't make a decision to feel inclined with someone's personality, the beauty of their personality, the way they are compatible with you naturally, physical and mental attraction enough that after being around someone for whatever length of time, because there really is no set limit amount of time as to when those feelings come up and arousal kicks in and your brain says, if this person is safe and they continue to show me that I can trust them and I feel confident, comfortable, and aroused by them, we could engage in sensual activities. But if you got to put all this monetary stuff before the act, and then those things literally become the breaking point as to whether we will or will not do something, that sounds like a proposition for paid sexual activity, which is prostitution. Okay, yeah, if you're paying for the moment to go down, anyway. So yeah, there's that whole debate. It never ends. A lot of folks, men, been saying it forever. Some women acknowledge this and they understand it, so they don't do those things. They say, look, it's real simple. They actually don't want you to take them to the most expensive place because they don't want you to feel like, oh, so you pay $100 and something for this dinner, so now you expect some ass. They don't want that pressure on them. So they purposely let you know, no, we're not going nowhere expensive. If that's what you was thinking, they'll talk you the other way if you on that mess. Like, I'm not that guy. I'm a love it if a woman is like, I understand you said you are a challenged financially, but very, very ambitious, very accomplished, obviously going somewhere, literally a walking lottery ticket if you're worried about my finances type of guy. That's me. I'm the big chance, as are all artists. I say this all the time, especially artists who are in fields that are less easy to become financially stable in. And we have to wear so many other hats and do so many other things besides what we're here to really do before we make it. But for women who understand that because they have a similar path, or they've seen examples of that, or they just simply respect it, they're gonna be the winners when it comes to the art life. Like, again, name of the show here, relationship goals in the art life.